live once again from SEMA 2019 in the Magnaflow podcasting stage, booth, area type place. It is Fuel Cult. I got my trusty co-host here, Joe Cariotti. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good. Feeling really excited for this interview here.
Okay. And then we, of course, have Mike and Jim Ring. How the hell are you guys doing?
Good. Hard to believe another year's went by already. I mean, oh my God. It felt like I was just looking at you.
Yeah, I know. It's weird how that accelerates as we get older, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Parents always said it, but now we're the parents.
Yeah. I had my 37th birthday yesterday. I'm like, yeah, that went quick. That went real fast.
Yeah.
36.
I had an old guy last week tell me, don't worry about getting old. It doesn't last long.
Oh my
That was
God.
pretty funny.
That is ominous, but
Yeah.
probably good advice.
Oh, man. So what goodies did you guys bring this year?
Bought a couple new ones. We bought a 69 Camaro that we did full carbon car again that we did for a guy.
Just full carbon.
And
Nothing big.
in Belgium, and then another 69 Mustang that's more of the guy wants to track the car. He take it to like vintage racing style, and
Yeah.
So it's a cool car. They're both fun. And we also have Wes Rydell's Cadillac back here that we ended up redoing for him.
Oh, you guys redid that car.
We redid the whole car. Yeah,
Was that the one with the ATS-V?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that motor in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still got the drivetrain, just everything else is different. Completely.
It's unrecognizable.
Why? That car was fantastic as it was. I love that thing.
Wes said, you did it the way you wanted to do it. Now you're going to do it the way I want to do it. So
He's
it's
a
shame-
great man.
It's a shame that you didn't start with another car.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that thing was awesome. How much time did you end up sinking into redoing that?
we had a lot of.
Oh, probably another 3,000 hours.
Yeah, there was
Jesus.
no carbon left on it. I mean, every carbon part of that car is gone now.
Made a new hood, new doors, new front fenders, new quarters. The only thing that's left is the roof and the deck lid.
Yeah, that's not much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not much at all.
And the interior and suspension, everything's the same. So
Man, that
and
thing.
now I think he meth injected it and did head work. It's making like 7 something.
It doesn't take much on that motor.
No.
That motor with a tune will put out over 500.
Yeah.
Easy. Like,
Yep.
yeah. It's 450 stock if I remember correctly.
4.6. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had that. I had an ATS-V press car. That was one of my favorite press cars in the last few years. That's just stupid fast.
Yeah, they're
They're
awesome.
fun to
I couldn't
drive.
believe how fast they were.
Yeah.
Factory.
Yeah, it's silly the level that we've gotten to. So okay, so the cars that you brought this year, solid rear or IRS?
Solid.
Solid. Are you guys in the solid rear camp firmly or flexible? Or
No, I just, I guess maybe we're stuck a little bit in how it works. And, so much of this, for us, it's so much that works and really works pretty well. We're kind of nervous to, we don't like.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Almost in
Right.
a way, but you need to, but it's like, when you got to guarantee these cars at the end of the day, you
Mhm.
don't like to step in waters that might cost you at the end just because of the cool factor.
But it's so like cool factor. But what about like the customer's asking for a specific kind
Right.
of vehicle? So
Right.
are they just not? They're not looking for that kind of.
Yeah, most haven't pushed us that direction to do it.
Well,
but-
we just had the Speed Corps guys on, your neighbors, effectively.
Yep,
I mean, probably nowhere near you, but same state anyhow.
oh, they're close.
close,
Couple hours.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about that, and we were getting into kind of regional differences between things. I think if you guys have been building cars out here, you'd probably be all IRS because we have roads that like bend, go
Right.
up and down. And,
Yep.
Well, we do too.
well, where you guys
Yeah.
are, you guys are up in the northern part of the state, right?
We are. We need snow tires.
It's versus we were talking about, where they are down in like Milwaukee. There's just
Flat.
it's
Flat highway.
boring.
Yeah.
Likewise, Joe's from Detroit, and I'm like, I've jokingly said before, like, now I know why American cars handled like shit for so long.
Yeah.
They had really nice seats though. So
Yeah, they
you
did.
know, you didn't.
What else is going on with these cars? So, what'd you do? Is there anything crazy motor wise, or is it just your usual
You know,
ridiculous attention to detail?
This Camaro was by far our biggest undertaking. We scanned it, started with the 69, and literally we wanted to call the car VIN.
Mhm.
Less than 200 pounds of the original cars left. That's it. That's it. It's
Just even
Looking at a picture
It's-
of this thing.
even the floor pans
Nothing's left of that car.
Did you do your own chassis and everything? Chassis work?
No, we
underneath?
actually used Detroit Speed stuff.
I was going to ask, did you call up
Yeah.
Art or something?
Yeah,
or-
no, we
Yeah.
didn't. We just used Kyle's, and we moved the wheelbase ahead 1.5 inches, 5 inches wider in the rear, 3 inches wider in the front.
Yeah. So it's like a modern proportions now because people
Right.
forget like how narrow.
narrow those cars are.
Yeah,
right.
those in the original Mustangs, they're really very small. But I mean, they're like the size of like if you were going to compare it to something like a Toyota 86. Now.
Right.
That's about the size.
Yeah, people don't even the old Cadillac. Can't believe how narrow that car was.
Yeah.
Factory.
You'd never really notice that by just looking at it because the car looks so large.
Yeah.
The wheelbase is so narrow.
Yeah, I mean, well, and we know what they drove like too.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Nice,
know.
nice big overhangs, big trunks. You know,
Exactly.
It's a aesthetic choice.
It's a style unto its own, absolutely. That and you know the Lincolns of that era too.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with that. I think they look great. They're perfect. The floating roof kind of paint job you have in this Camaro. If you haven't looked it up, look it up. It's an amazing build. I love the color. I actually really like that. You don't see that applied to the muscle cars at all.
Right.
So that is just such a unique design flourish. we'll
Yeah,
call
it's
it.
got on the B pillars. It's looks like it's inboard of it, and it's it looks like a cap. It's
Mhm.
all carbon. I mean, the whole roof is carbon. The whole car is, but that's exposed.
right.
And
What are
it
you
kind
doing
of brings
for
it down.
UV protection on that?
Well, we use automotive clear on it. The
Yeah.
same clear you do the paint.
Yeah.
We start with a Duratec to fill carbon's super porous.
Yeah.
Like it's a bitch. I mean, it's definitely more difficult to do than painting a car because the amount of clear you got to put on to get it
Wet sand,
yeah.
lather, rinse, and repeat at that point.
exactly. And then make sure you don't have anything, especially the first time. You don't have any streaks of the carbon that you sand it because if you clear over it, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right? You're done. That part's junk.
How many
So-
more hours does that add to a build going full carbon versus not?
Well, it adds a lot in the carbon aspect if you're going to expose it and make it look right. If
Yeah.
it's not, that part's not as bad, right? Because you just prime it like you would anything else. So, but if it was all exposed carbon, it'd be ridiculous.
What's your process like when you actually go to build and make a mold for these parts? What does that actually look like?
Start out, in CAD.
Yeah.
It starts out on a computer and it gets drawn up, and then you end up machining giant chunks of foam to actually make the mold.
Okay,
of it.
so it is a
Yeah.
foam injection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then obviously everything's hand laid into them. And the tooling that we use to build the parts for that Camaro are pretty much a one pull mold. So it's a one and done deal. So
But you've got the CNC file, so it could always be
correct. Yeah.
But even the price of that foam, like, give you a ballpark of what to do 40-pound density foam to do 2 front fenders, just the foam,
Yeah.
about $8,000. No milling cost, just foam.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
What happens after you're done with the foam?
Yeah, then you get a big expensive dumpster bill.
Oh man!
Wow, to just throw out 8K worth of
Uh,
foam.
Oh, and then you mill it, then you add $15,000 a fender.
right. And
Yeah.
it looks beautiful now,
Yeah,
right?
it's like, I gotta throw that away.
you
Even
can
though it-
probably
And they're massive, so it's not like you can just keep them for hopefully.
you
they-
should just put them up on eBay.
That roof panel that we built
Yeah.
for that car.
True, I never thought of
Just
it. I'm
put it
not
up
that
on
smart.
eBay. Here, you know what? I'll put it up for you. Don't worry about
All
it.
right.
I'll give you the profits.
Yeah.
No, the roof. Just give them an idea what just the roof cost on that car. It's
Yeah, we started out because we wanted to build this car all digitally. So
Yep.
the first part we were going to get was the roof. So we got quotes, and Jim wasn't really on board for this deal the way we were going to do it. I got the first quote. I wouldn't even tell him just to mill the roof. $87,000, and that's not even to get a part.
All
That's
right.
just the mill cost.
Oh my goodness!
That's a lot of machine time.
And
Oh.
I actually got it down to 24. So there's a big difference
Is
in
it-
people.
I was just gonna say different vendors, different processes.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
there's still, with all the work on that roof, there was probably a $60,000 roof. I mean,
Jeez.
honestly, by the time you designed it,
I
you milled
wonder.
it,
I wonder if it's like a really large bed nylon 3D printer might get you guys to the same place for a lot less money.
Yeah, I mean, with technology today, we could be talking about printing the whole car in no time.
It's so funny you guys use this latest manufacturing techniques and everything, and then Chris asks the question, well, what kind of rear end you put in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just like it's such a fun look at car culture right now, because you could just take this amazingly complex computer designed build, extend it, still make it look totally stock, and just oh man, this kind of concept. Did you envision this is where you're going to be in 2019 when you guys started out?
No, we had no idea. It's the young employees. It's being afraid you're going to be lost if you don't keep up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
irrelevant.
It's way more competitive than it's ever been.
Oh my God,
the talent is
There's
crazy.
Some talented people out there. It's just mind-boggling.
And it's never been faster the way it's going to change. 5 years from now, who knows? That's what's crazy to think. 5 years from now, you'll see stuff that you're just like space shuttle shit everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Did you guys see the stackable electric volt motors that GM has for the crate motor over in their booth?
No, but I mean, I heard them talking about it earlier. But I got to check it out.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did the E-Rod motor last year. Or it was the year before, one of the two, where it was basically crate motor done.
This is actually the engines out of the Chevy Volt that they became stackable. So which means you can put 1 in, 2 in, or 3 in, and I think with 3 of them it's like 800 horse.
So
it comes with LS motor mounts already on it, so you can just swap it. Obviously, the battery situation, there's a lot of work there, but it's just crazy to think they're making crate electric motors.
Is that coming your way? Have you gotten anybody interested in that yet?
Not where we live yet. It's still, there's still the builders we're building for, the people we're building for want the sound yet. They still want.
Yeah.
I bet we don't have Teslas.
Future,
oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's funny. It's different town to town. Detroit area, maybe still a little reluctant. You go to the Ann Arbor area, just same towns in Michigan, and they're like, oh yeah, let's check this out. These people are willing to fab a little bit differently. But do you think that this is something you want to get into then? Are you interested in it?
I think depending on what it would be and the right client, we'd be all for it. It'd be really fun to do something off the wall that's electric.
Yeah,
in the old muscle car.
There's a company out of San Diego called EV West that does a lot of conversion work. Yeah, those guys would be on my short list of people to call if that kind of a project came up.
Yeah. What do you do with them cars for the noise? They'll put cards in the spokes like we used to do it.
No, you just listen. You listen to the whir of it, and then you just listen to tires melting off of it.
What would you want? Because do you want the Starship Enterprise Millennium Falcon sound, or do you you could switch it too?
Yeah,
so it's like what, today's a 454 kind of day.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's pretty funny though. You could do that.
You could, and I don't. I mean, the manufacturers coming out with the EV cars put a ton of research into how their car sounds.
Yeah.
Not just the combustion engine, but in the electric world. So I think for the aftermarket, it's going to get very interesting
to see what the consumer really wants.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a definite sound to a Model S, like doing, full launch from, it's just this, it's a different sound, but there is a sound to it. I mean, it's not going to be deafening, like driving around like
the discharge noise, like that.
Yeah, it's just that spinning up of that motor. That's got to go. There is no gearbox, so they just go up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
So you're probably spinning it 30,000 RPM at the top.
Isn't that crazy to think about that?
You've probably had one, right?
I've driven those. Yeah.
I've driven one Tesla. It wasn't really a high horsepower car, not like what they're doing now. And
even then, they're still fast.
Yeah. It's kind of freakish.
Have you driven
for a guy like me?
Not a Volt, but the Bolt. Have you driven one of those? Interesting little car. Perfect for a city car. Not good if you've got to drive long distances. But if you're a city car, it's fantastic. It's, all the torque down low, of course. But it's got so much down low that, you can just take off in front of pretty much all the other traffic, unless you run into something with a bunch of power. But it's nice. It's fast enough that you can just get up and around everybody.
That's cool. Yeah,
and it costs, nothing to operate.
Well, the fact you could just put these engine or motors in, they're not engines. They want
No,
you to call
they're
it.
motors, yeah.
Watch myself here.
Yeah.
But you could just like, you know what? I want 2 of them. You know,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see when the ZR1 comes out, the C8 ZR1, I'm fairly certain we're going to see 2 electric motors on those front wheels.
You think
Wow.
so?
Yeah.
Kind of Acura NSX kind of thing.
Is that what they're doing?
They have a hybrid system, but
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know what wheels it's driving to, not off the top of my head. But
I believe
they do
I
it.
believe it's purely electric to the front wheels.
Is it? Yeah.
What is a 918? What do they do?
You'd think the weight would kill him on something like that.
I think the 918 is at the flywheel, between.
Oh, okay.
I'm not certain on that though. It's been such a long time
Well,
since.
that would be a fun powertrain to put in something, right?
Oh, my
You put a
God.
918 powertrain into
Yeah.
some old, some Mustang that you do your little
You just gotta
massage
get somebody
with.
to
I don't know if
donate
I'm going to give me $1 million car to
I
put
was
in a
gonna say, you just got to
Mustang.
get somebody to donate $1 million car.
Yeah.
Talk is cheap, but
Yeah.
maybe make some ideas for any listeners out there.
I think the biggest problem, like when retrofitting this stuff, is packaging the batteries.
Yep.
You're exactly right.
I mean, because everything that comes out now, it's built into the floorboards,
Right.
which, ideally is, that's the way to go because it keeps center of gravity real
Yep.
low. That's going to be the tricky thing when you guys go to eventually. I think it's an eventuality. You guys are going to get somebody that's going to ask for that.
All the money that's ever going to be made is the guy that comes up with the perfect battery, about the size of a 9-volt that'll last.
It's called a supercapacitor.
Yeah, and it'll probably happen someday.
Well, lithium-ion battery technology came out like 20-something years ago, and now we're seeing it in everything. It's what's in our laptops, it's what's in the Teslas and everything. So I think we're due for another big change in battery tech.
I mean, that's for everything.
Yeah.
And everything in like electrical engineering and through all different manufacturing. That's our biggest problem right now is that there have been no major battery breakthroughs. Your options are supercapacitors beyond that, but packaging on that's difficult currently.
We'll have to wait for graphene. So if somebody gave you a 918 powertrain and all the fixings, what would you put it in?
I'd leave it at 918.
Okay, it's
the
a
right
crash.
answer.
It's a wrecked 918.
Yeah, I'd put it back to a 918.
Yeah.
Good choices.
And
Good
you
choice.
guys actually have to shop to do so.
Yeah.
Right, you could.
Yeah, but
Send
I
that
love-
one to the collision shop.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be your first restoration on a new car in that shop?
Yes, that would on a new car. What you'd want to restore.
Have you ever entertained that of picking up like an exotic or something that had some body damage or something that would be totaled for anybody else, but for you guys, sure if it'll work.
I'll tell you what. I think the new Corvette. I would just buy a new one
Right?
and cut it up
I'm waiting.
'cause that's
60
cheap
grand,
enough.
right?
To way cheaper than going the conventional way.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm waiting on the Z06 though. Or the Grand Sport.
Sure.
Like that new flat plane motor. Have you heard that thing? Did you hear the rev
I've
on that?
never. No.
You've got to go on YouTube and get them revving that. I mean, the race car's over there. The C8 C8R is sitting there. They've got that thing on camera. It revs so fast. It's probably. I mean, it sounds like it's probably hitting about 8K,
Wow.
and it's instant
Wow.
rev.
Wow. I mean, I'm doing it
That's
justice.
cool.
5.5 liter flat plane.
Huh.
So, and that's in the C8R. So that's going to be down on power compared to what we
Right.
get.
When does the big one come out? Is that next year? Or
They
have,
were
like-
supposed to start deliveries. Or you mean the Z06?
yeah.
They're not even saying.
I would wager next year once
Yeah,
they get
especially-
like its initial rush of buyers out. Then they'll.
Then they got to start putting some candy on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have a model for every kind of person. So it'll be interesting the way it comes down. But that drivetrain is it's a game changer, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's almost like GM left a lot of money on the table. I think the car could have been 20 more, and they'd have sold just as many.
They're going after. They're not quite as crazy. Well, not anywhere near as crazy, but they're starting to go after like the Range Rover and Porsche model of like there's a million options and you pay for them.
Yeah.
You can spec a C8 out to like 120.
Oh, you
something K.
can?
Yeah. So and it creeps up fast.
Right
Oh.
now, you can.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
60 to over double.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
Wow.
if you start at 60, get the person interested, or you get the people that can afford
Right.
60, and then you make the model for the people that want an $80,000 car. It's
Kind of like what we do.
Yeah.
for one roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even the roof.
So okay, so the C8's interesting. Is there any other newer stuff that like you'd be like, okay, that'd be fun to have and play with for a while?
Like a new cat excavator would be mine.
Yeah,
That's also fun.
That would be really fun. Now we are in Vegas. Have you
Yeah.
played with these here, or
No,
just do you have some?
I was an operator before I got in the car business, but I like digging holes.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It
but
is fun.
There's some.
I think you could make a whole amusement park out of that.
They have one here.
They literally have that here where you can go rent heavy equipment and drive it around.
Really?
a lot for
Yeah,
30
for you,
Wow.
whenever we're going to Vegas, my buddies, we always choose like, should we do that, or there's always the track
That's
experience.
too funny.
Yeah, you could pay a couple $100, move some earth around, just like the old days.
Unbelievable. We bought an excavator, a used one, a couple years ago, and I wanted to take the bucket off and attach a car to it, but
Wait.
nobody would have got in it because it had been like, what was that movie with that cartoon movie that they did for the kids, the Little Giant or whatever, where you're spinning the car around with the kid in it,
Oh, I know.
holding it in his hand.
Yeah, Jim wanted to weld the car to the thing and spin it around with
Oh,
somebody.
wouldn't that
in
have
it.
been a blast?
Just a centrifuge.
Oh my God.
That would be. It's like the witch's wheel kind of
Yeah.
thing, like you just.
But no, new cars, we don't get to see what you see. I mean, the biggest thing we saw is actually a guy came in with a new McLaren and gave Jim a ride in that.
That was fun.
And that
That
was
was
a
fun.
rocket.
Fast, huh?
That thing is just crazy. Like,
And the guy could
Was
drive.
it a 570 or a 670 longtail?
We
or-
wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know, but it was super fast. Like, he took a corner that it literally, and I've done a lot of that stuff, but it literally scared the crap out of me.
Because
Like, there's no way you're going to take this corner because it's in my backyard and I know the corner.
Right.
And he went through that corner like it was nothing. I'm like, oh my God.
That's a scary feeling, though.
Yeah.
You're used to taking it in your
Yeah.
car or whatever, and then
Yeah.
you get this car that is a super or ultra
Yeah.
car or whatever. You get in, you feel like you're gonna die for a
Oh, yeah.
second.
Oh my God.
But
He's a real wheelman too. I mean, this guy he's done a lot of track time and he
wasn't afraid of it.
that's great.
We were screwing around last night after I picked him up. I put the Macan in launch mode, and I just flashed the ECU a couple of weeks ago. So now it puts out like 450
you're
foot-pound.
kidding me. That little thing?
Oh man, it
It's a
rips.
3-liter twin turbo,
Yeah,
but that was 450 pound-feet at like 1,200 RPM,
Oh my God.
yeah.
and it just all-wheel drive and just
Oh
It,
my
rocket
it
God.
snaps
forward.
your head back in the best way. Just what?
It doesn't have like traction control that shuts off that thing, or no, you can shut
Oh no,
that
that's
off.
part of what it's using to launch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just mash the brake and then you put the gas all the way down, and it just it basically just goes no, and just almost like a
Bang.
rally car,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
then it just bang, and you go.
Wow. Sounds fun.
Like
just-
you don't remember the old Ford RS200, the rally cars?
Oh,
The-
those are epic. I love them.
Yeah, they're a guy up by us had one, George Stoffer, and he said that thing back in that day was 0 to 60 in 2.1.
Yeah,
Isn't that
which is-
insane?
Yeah, which
That-
was stupid.
And you're like late '80s tech.
Yeah.
It was
exactly.
like a Escort on steroids.
Right.
you know?
Well, it was built as like a Group B rally car.
Yeah.
They never got to use it though.
It killed a bunch of spectators in the first few
Races.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, that kind of gives the car a bad name. doesn't
Yeah.
it's.
Well, them spectators are crazy anyway.
I know,
it?
right?
Oh, rally.
I mean,
yeah.
just
Why
barely.
why would you do that?
Well,
That'd
I
be like
mean,
going to Isle of Man and standing, in front of one of them bikes coming over
pick
the
your
hill.
corners wisely.
And this
Yeah.
is from the guy that wants to spin a car around on an excavator.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta be nuts.
Yeah.
So how many guys do you have working for you now?
What are we up to?
Guys and girls are at about 20.
Okay.
But that's, the machining, the collision, it's about equal doing everything.
Yeah.
So nothing too big, but we're still focused when we do a car. It's like we work on that car, we get that car done, and we bring another car in. Our shop's never full. I mean, I go into shops, 15 cars, 2 guys shop. It's
Yeah.
like the math don't work. You know what I mean? Or
Or you're
gotta
just
get it
going to end
done.
up with pissed off customers. I mean,
or
not only
robbing,
that, but if
robbing
you-
Peter to pay Paul or whatever it may be.
yeah, there's a fair amount of that goes on that people
Yeah.
don't talk about.
Right.
And by the time you get done, if you've got 10 of them in there and you're doing one a year, it's dated
Yeah.
after it's done anyway.
That's so true.
Well, it's just like what was it? The big fad, like over the last 2 years, was bolt-on fender flares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see them anymore.
No.
Do you?
Nope.
I knew that was a fad, and I just like, no, that's not going to last. We might have even talked about it last year or the year
Yeah, the
before.
bushwhackers. Yeah.
Yeah, those are done. That went quick. What do you think of the new Supra?
Bitchin'.
You like it?
I don't.
He doesn't.
I don't like it either.
I do.
I don't
It's
like
small,
it at
but I
all.
think it's cool.
Okay, so wait, why do you like it?
I like it that they brought it back, and it's still. I mean, is it the Supra that I would ideally love? Like I guess I really love which would it be with the
door
the
wedge.
big wing on the
Oh, the
back?
Mark IV Supra.
What year would that have been?
That ended production in, I believe, 97.
Yeah, to me that was probably my favorite ones.
That's everybody's favorite
Yeah.
one. And the prices went through.
Are they
the
really?
roof. Oh yeah, yeah. A really clean stock twin turbo Supra. I bet you could probably crest 80K for it.
Are you kidding
Oh
me?
yeah, they've gone up
What
in
was
value.
that car new?
What's that?
What was that car new?
Oh,
45?
Yeah,
In
about
today's money, like 40, if I remember correctly.
well, in today's money, it would be more because it was selling for 40s.
No,
then.
it wasn't. No,
No?
not back then. No.
Okay,
Wow.
whatever. I got bad math.
The new Supra, I think. I mean, what I don't, it's a little small. It's kind of an RX-7 ish look.
Or you might even say it's kind of like a Z4.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just looks pieced together to
so
me.
this is now. Like, why do you not like it? It's pieced together.
I've seen it. I just don't like the look of it. I don't know.
I'm
There's
not-
something about it.
To me, the front end of it almost it goes back to almost the Mercedes SLK from a few
Yeah.
years ago, and I call it the nose.
It has a schnoz to it.
Yeah.
It's got that. Yeah, and I just can't.
I
get
never
over it.
ever heard that, but boy, now that you say that, I can't get that out
Now
of my
you
mind
can't
because
unsee it.
it's perfect
Yeah.
analogy. I don't know if you come up with that, but
Oh, I did.
Wow.
I'm sure somebody else has said it too.
No,
but
it's
I've
a
been
Chris
saying that
Hayes
for-
oh
official.
my god, I can't
You're
get that
not-
out of my mind.
You're never gonna unsee it now. Are you?
No,
It's like the little arrow in the FedEx
Yeah.
logo. Like
Yeah.
now you see it.
Yeah.
and It's just
Wow.
always there. But I haven't got to drive one. Everybody that
I
tells
have
me
not
that
driven it yet
has
either.
driven the new Supras have had a really good experience with it, even though there's not a manual transmission and that's against the rules for people. I hear it drives really well, so I can understand. Okay, maybe the looks aren't your thing, but you think that the driving dynamics is something you'd be interested in, or
I'd love to drive it. Obviously, that would be a blast. But it's I don't know if I'd want to be seen. I'd tint the windows or something.
well, now after we know what Chris thinks of it,
I think that car could be fixed with just an aftermarket bumper
really.
on the front of that. I think you could change that with an aftermarket nose on there.
yeah, I dig it. I think I think it's nice. I can't wait to drive it though. But it's not the thing that was weird to me when I saw it in person. I was like, man, that's not much bigger than like an FRS or
Oh, I can't remember if I told you or Patrick, but that's actually got a smaller wheelbase than an FRS.
See, so like even like the GT86, they're the BRZ.
You guys are freaking talking about shit. I have
so
no idea.
There's like a little Toyota drift car,
Yeah.
basically, and it costs $20-something thousand, and it's roughly the same size.
Ah,
Toyota and Subaru collaborated on a little coupe that's been out for 7 or 8 years now. I'm sure you've seen them around. They're little rear-wheel drive things. They're good for what they are, but they make no power.
oh, okay.
They got a Subaru Boxer 4 in them, so they make 200, and that's it, and like 130 pound-feet.
And it's all about driving dynamics.
Yeah.
Do you ever get any customers that are looking for that? When you guys doing one car at a time, like you have a very specific customers that they're coming to you. Live rear axle's fine. I'm looking for your amazing craftsmanship because that's what you're known for, and on every detail. So that kind of customer doesn't come your way very often, I'm guessing.
Really, customers are hard when you're spending the kind of money that they could go out and buy whatever, anything.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, and to capture that person and then to get them to spend anything with you,
And these
it's
are
a tough. It's amazing because every year you look around and there's definitely people that did the anything, but it's still a tough one.
We've never had one to do the anything.
Yeah.
We've never had one that just where it doesn't really matter.
Some guy just in northern Wisconsin's like, listen, this is my MG. I want you to take it to the absolute top level it could ever be. Like
Yeah.
That's
That's
put the 918
Right.
in the MG.
Would you ever do a little British Roadster?
Actually, we'd love to start doing some European stuff. Like
I think
the old
that's,
Volvo. Or,
Oh yeah, the
it'd be kind of fun to just. I mean, how many Camaros can you do, and how
Yeah.
many Mustangs can you do?
You guys, I mean, yes, you get good paying customers, and
Yeah.
you're doing good quality work, but I'm sure it gets boring at a certain point.
It's like when the guy comes in and said, "We want to do another Mustang." It's like, oh, really?
well, you guys have done so many things tastefully, right? And so I think every time you guys come out with a new design, a new take on it, it's like, all right, what can we do next that's also tasteful and done correctly
Yeah.
in your eyes? And you every time it pushes you.
I've got one for you.
Oh, okay.
An Opal.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. I
Right.
mean, you could get pretty. We did that Pantera that year. That was a great car. I loved that car.
Yeah.
But
But it's kind of
it was
that
different though.
But the Opal is so unique, and those cars are so unique. But to get somebody to put the money in, like even a Pantera, there was the market Pantera is cool, but to take Opal, which is super cool,
Yeah.
and then get them to spend the kind of money, it's just such a hard sell for guys like us.
Yeah.
If we were doing it for ourselves, but it's about, okay, can we sell it then? Or
well, we had the guy that wanted to do the LS based Ferrari
no, a Ford based Ferrari.
or Ford.
He owns
that-
a lot of Ferraris, but
that's-
He
with
just
this
wanted
movie, he wanted to piss off the.
Yeah,
as you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you should. They're difficult people to deal with.
Yeah,
I think-
exactly.
I think if I had unlimited funds, I'd send you guys like an old Saab Sonnet or something like that.
I wouldn't even know what that is.
It's just something weird, right? And just
He likes really weird.
I like weird stuff. Hell, we did a Winnebago for Christ's sake.
I saw
remember
that.
that.
Thing was epic.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like,
Matt and Zach went up and filmed that with you guys. didn't
Yeah,
they?
exactly.
Yep. That was we had so much fun in that stupid thing.
you could do anything.
Oh
you
my
bring
God.
you bring everything with you.
Is that's completely? Who's got that now? Do you know?
He
Chris
just
McVie,
sold
He
it
just sold that thing.
Okay.
like a week
Yeah.
ago.
Wow.
Because that was here like last year or the year before.
It was,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
right.
honestly that was 3 to 4 years ago already.
Was it?
That's how fast time
it
that
really?
goes. Yeah, that was in a
Holy
Prestone.
shit.
That was before we did the Javelin, which the Javelin was 2 years ago.
That Javelin
3 to
is
4.
amazing. That's a little bit unique, right? It's not the Mustang, it's not the Camaro. I bet you when
That was fun.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah.
In AMC.
What-
Yeah,
what
that's
was-
why it was fun.
what was different about that compared to the Chevy and Ford friends that you deal with normally?
Because
the
you
out-
couldn't come here and see 100 of them, right? Seriously, how many of them have you ever seen done? I mean, really?
Not many.
Not
see
you've
him
seen
put
some
wheels
earlier
on 'em,
ones,
you know?
but not 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. Nobody's really done one, and it meant a lot because it was a local car we grew up with, but it was fun because nobody had really done one.
How do you feel about Buicks?
I like Buicks.
Yeah.
I like the early like 67s, and
Yeah.
I like the bigger car like the Oldsmobile too. The F85s and the
That's
love
a great
those
car,
cars.
That old F85.
Yeah, that was. Those would be. I'd love to see you guys do a.
I think
Buick
a
like that.
Delta 88 or something
Yeah.
would be really fun too.
I couldn't do a Delta.
Why
that's-
not? What's wrong
or
with the
a
Delta?
That'd
We
be
grew
like
up with one.
Oh,
That'd
okay.
be like doing a deuce and a quarter or something. I
It's
couldn't
just
do
too-
one of them.
too-
Yeah.
Just too many.
Yeah.
Too many of them.
Well, at least those have thinned out around here.
Yeah.
You don't see it. You don't.
No.
You just don't see them that often. But it'd still be a kind of a familiar.
It used to be half this place was.
Right.
I mean, and not even that long ago. What, 7 or 8 years ago?
Wow.
The Rivieras and
Yeah.
They're still lookers though.
yeah.
An Avanti.
Too funny you say that.
We got a guy that's pretty hot on us to do one.
I can't wait.
That's a weird.
That
You
is
think?
weird.
Yeah.
Where do you start?
I don't even know what you do.
See, our
It's
thing is you want it to be relatable to what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd want it to look like anything like a Levante. So it's like, what do you do?
No.
That's what I was going to say. How do you fix perfection?
That car looks like it was an electric car
It does.
because all early electric cars are ugly, right?
They don't have.
They didn't
Yeah.
care about what they looked like. It was just make it electric. I don't care what the outside looks like. That Avante looks like an early electric car.
It does.
It has a schnoz.
It needs some holes
And
in
you
the
know
front.
what?
or something.
Yeah.
They didn't get any better looking over
No.
time.
No, they
The
got
successive
worse.
generations. Because you remember they did one built on the 4th gen F bodies at one point, And then when the F bodies went away, then they started doing them on Mustangs.
Did they really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not
I
know
had
that.
Hard
no
to believe
idea.
somebody actually thought that would buy one. Like they thought that, hey, well, look at that thing. That thing's badass.
I think it's just one.
How do you do that?
And
And then
it's-
to have somebody that actually bought one and loves it that much that he wants to stick a ton of money into it, that would scare me.
How do you approach a car like that? That's a little bit of an oddball. Then
Oh.
what do you do?
You know, get a lot of people involved.
Move to a drivetrain where parts are plentiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make
man.
sure they buy in. No, it's you got to feel it, and we haven't felt it.
Would you ever, maybe something, 60s, 70s Japanese? What do you think?
That'd be fun.
I love the early Japanese cars.
240s
Who
and
doesn't?
stuff, or-
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean 240s, but I was lucky enough when I was in the Navy to live there a year, and there's just a lot of cool Japanese.
they
And
have-
they're so detail orientated over there. That's
Yeah.
what I really like about what they do, and I love looking at.
All you got to do is look at the Toyota Century.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That thing, oh my God, it makes every other car look like a hobo hut.
Yep.
So
Right.
going from Wisconsin, being in the Navy, and then going over to Japan, seeing all those different cars for the first time, was that an inspiration to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know because I really wasn't into the cars as much. Obviously I love cars, but I really didn't notice them. I remembered them, but I just remembered the culture and being how detailed they were. They were just like
Everything.
Troy Trepanier on
I mean,
steroids,
it's- It's like an entire country comprised of engineers almost.
Yeah.
They're,
Well, there's a sense of pride in everything.
Oh,
yeah.
And
competitiveness.
it
and
is,
crap.
yeah.
I mean, people make that joke about the Germans being precise, but like
Oh,
the Japanese are at a different level.
And
Koreans are kind of like that too.
Yeah.
The stuff that they build is freaking spectacular.
it is.
But
I mean,
by manufacturing standards, you just the fit and finish is really, and they do it. The German cars tend to be a little bit more complex, where the Japanese can have a thoughtfulness to their design, to the mechanic too.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the other thing.
true.
It's just like
Longevity,
yeah.
and
Right.
the whole thing.
it's like, okay, you might have to change a light bulb, but it's simple.
Yeah, we can-
but you do that in maybe cars manufactured from European brands, and maybe you have to remove the whole back panels,
Right.
or something.
Yeah, and
like
the collision end of it, to take these cars apart, a European car versus a Japanese, it's like, why?
But is that why you want to get something different because of the challenge of it?
It's
Yeah,
always the challenge of it, and obviously there's so many talented people in this industry, and it's. I think it's really hard to stand apart if you're all doing the same thing, right? So
and so many people are doing the same things.
Yeah. And if
Including us.
yeah,
you know?
including us. But if you're not willing to fall off the tightrope, you're going to be the same, do the same stuff.
Finding
all the
that
time.
right customer
Yeah.
though that'll give you that creative
Yeah.
freedom, right?
Yeah, and
But
it's
that-
always about the money, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
That's why I appreciate your design, though, because you're always looking. Everything. I've never seen something coming out of your house that wasn't a tastefully done and moved the bar. It has always made the industry and the designers and everyone take note. You guys aren't doing a mass car.
No.
So like you take the time and you're moving up a level. How do you consistently stay on top like that?
I don't know that we are. I just think we do. We try to push it based on money, but I wouldn't say we're on the top. I think there's a long way to go.
I've certainly talked to more than a few, guys in the same position you are here. And, you guys are pretty universally respected, I will say, and then we get our friends like, Jason Engel in here, or you get like somebody, you get somebody like Bodie or something like that. And everybody's bringing something crazy to the table at this. We're at SEMA for the billionth time. Are you guys actually going to get a chance to walk around this year?
Probably not unless we get here early, and that's what we try to do: is get here a little early, beat the crowd. So what's nice about the display
Yeah.
that we can get in early and because it's impossible, right? Right now it's impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope to. But honestly, when I say get around, it would only be in this building.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
which is unfortunate.
luckily, not to disparage people in the other buildings, but like usually the coolest stuff ends up in this hall.
Yeah, I mean that's why you want to spend. If you're going to spend any time and you have a little bit, you want to spend it here.
So if there's one car you got to see that was done by, it was done under a tight budget that was done amazingly well. my friend Freddie Hernandez, also known as Taverish online. He bought a destroyed Lamborghini Murcielago that was used in the Fast and Furious filming.
Wow.
And they just, wrecked the car, and he just did a full restore over the course of the
Really?
last year. It is one of the most stunning builds I've seen in a long time. And given that car is like 15 years old now, it's aged so well now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll find out what it is. It's for doing it like most of the work himself. The work is
Incredible.
It's just crazy good. And the interior, the shop that he had do it down in like West Palm or something like that. Oh my God! It was.
What color is it?
Bright orange.
Bright
as a
orange.
Lamborghini is supposed to be.
Yeah. What booth is it in? Near here?
I can't recall. It's at. Yeah, I'll ask him. And he's going to be on show next.
Cool.
So
Next year sounds like we're going to be in a new building, huh? Probably sounds like they're moving this over to the new facility.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
I don't think they're moving this part.
No, that's what they said, but maybe not. We'll
Is
see.
that what they're doing with what was the parking lot over there?
Right.
Correct. Did you
Okay.
see the size of that building they put up over there?
I hadn't really paid attention to it yet.
OMG.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I can't imagine this thing needing another haul, but they'll fill it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting the light here, and that means we got to get wrapped up. This has been Fuel Cult, live from SEMA at the Magnaflow booth. Go check out magnaflow.com, check out their fine products. We got to thank them for hosting us yet again. Mike and Jim Ring, where can we find you guys?
Ringbrothers.com or Instagram.
Okay. And
We've got some really good pictures right now on Instagram that they had posted on the Camaro that we just unveiled. Get on and check it out.
Yeah, your Instagram is really. I was checking it out before the show, and I'm like, this is one I should be subscribing to. Why am I not doing this? It's like a little piece of car art every time you scroll by it.
Oh, it's car porn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Well, I didn't want to go there, but
I will.
Yeah.
I'm crass. I'll do it. All
Hey,
right.
thanks you guys really for
Oh,
inviting
yeah,
us.
it's always a pleasure
Thanks
having
for
you guys
having
on.
us. Yeah.
If I make it out to Wisconsin this year to go visit family,
You better stop and
I
see
may
us.
swing by.
Yeah, you better do it.
I may do that. All right, this has been Fuel Cult. I'm Chris Hayes, and that is.
I'm Joe.
And this is another
That's
episode
it.
from SEMA. That's it.
Thanks.